the CHALL, your Dogs to Rovers fan channel, and welcome to this video where today we're going to be looking at our EFL Cup opponents in detail. So we're going to be taking a look at the ins and outs of this season so far at Blackburn Rovers on the transfer market, looking at the manager, looking at some of the most threatening players in the squad, and also we're going to be looking at the other EFL Cup clashes in September and at the end of August, because of course there is the rule with the Championship ones that they can be played in August, at the end of August instead of the start of September, because of the fact of this international break before the season. So some people have done that. Blackburn have decided to, reportedly decided to try and push ours towards the start of September, which would be good for us. So thank you very much, Blackburn, for potentially doing that. And let's have a look at the ins and outs of Blackburn. We'll take a look at the rest of the fixtures as well. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video, and let's take a look at our EFL Cup opponents at Ewood Park. So, at Ewood Park, we're going to be facing Blackburn Rovers, managed by the wonderful Tony Mowbray. He's got some very good history with management. He's a former West Brom boss, used to be interim manager at Ipswich, actually, when he started. And he's managed at clubs like Celtic, Middlesbrough, Coventry, Hibernian. And, I think he's a decent manager, He's not done too badly with the Blackburn squad. Now, of course, looking at the Championship last season and looking at where Blackburn Rovers specifically finished, they finished in 11th place. And, they finished off actually 7 points, or around 8 points if you want to go a point above Swansea. But they finished about 7 or 8 points. Before the playoffs. So, fair play to them. So, Blackburn didn't do too badly. They were an outsider for the playoff hunt a few games before the end of the season. I think that they've done quite well. And they've retained, some decent players. They've retained a lot of decent players. And, at the minute, their pre-season is away at Bolton on the 29th of August. Looking at their transfers, they've only brought in a free agent, and they've sold some of their released some of their players to the free agency, like Danny Graham, Dominic Samuel, people like that. Obviously, Smallwood's now a Hull City player. Looking at the rest of their released list, Danny Graham, obviously he hasn't got a club yet, so maybe he'd be a good experienced striker for a club. Dominic Samuel, he hasn't got a club yet either, but I think he's a good underrated striker for the EFL. Luke Weiler, the Canadian goalkeeper with loads of experience, again, still hasn't got a club yet, but hopefully he will find one. Sam Hart, of course, a professional fullback who spent last season on loan at Shrewsbury for half of the season, so he hasn't got a club yet, so it'll be interested to see where he actually goes. Of course, they've loaned out their midfielder Tom White for a season to Bolton Wanderers, their pre-season opponents. Looking at the squad that they've got and the players that could be most threatening, I think that Ryan Nyambe would be a good threat. I think Charlie Mulgrew is not a bad defender. Lennion, Derek Williams, they're good defenders. Holtby in the midfield. Bradley Dack's obviously going to be one of the main threats in the midfield. Elliot Bennett could be an underrated player. Adam Armstrong and Sam Gallagher and Ben Brereton are three fantastic forwards. So I think that, Blackburn are going to be very, very threatening come next season. So looking then at the fixtures for the other EFL Cup games. So starting off with the 29th to the 30th of August fixtures. So we're starting off with them. Walsall versus Sheffield Wednesday. Rochdale versus Huddersfield Town. Preston North End versus Mansfield Town. Blackburn versus Doncaster currently, it could be moved to the 5th of September or 6th of September, who knows, with the reports that Blackburn could potentially move in that. But looking at the other ones then, Stoke City Blackpool, Middlesbrough Shrewsbury, Derby Barrow, Salford versus Rotherham, Barnsley Nottingham Forest, Bristol Exeter, Plymouth QPR, Milton Keynes Dons versus Coventry, Crawley versus Millwall, Brentford v Wickham, Northampton Town versus Cardiff, Luton and Norwich, that's going to be a decent clash, a bit of a taster for the Championship this season. Birmingham Cambridge, Newport Swansea, Reading Colchester. And then moving up into the 5th of September or the 6th of September fixtures, Tranmere Harrogate, Crewe Lincoln. We also have Bolton Bradford. We also have Fleetwood Wigan, Grimsby Morecambe. We then have Scunthorpe Port Vale, Sunderland Hull, that's going to be a tasty clash. Burton versus Accrington, a full League 1 clash there. Oldham and Carlisle, a full League 2 clash. We also have Swindon versus Charlton, that's a nice League 1 clash there. Another League 2 clash in Forest Green versus Leyton Orient. Stevenage versus Portsmouth, a mix of both worlds, as Hannah Montana would say. And Peterborough v Cheltenham, that'll be a good clash between the two. Oxford Wimbledon, so that's going to be a decent clash. And of course Gillingham Southend and Ipswich versus Bristol Rovers, another League 1 clash. So that is looking inside to Blackburn Rovers and the other EFL Cup fixtures taking place either on the 29th to the 30th of August or the 5th to the 6th of September 2020. Tasty fixtures in there, but my main focus as a Rovers fan is on Blackburn Rovers. Now, a lot of people are throwing this off quickly, like, oh, more maybe, putting out a squad that'll lose this, just to, ease ourselves off the fixture list this season. Because to be fair, we've got a lot of fixtures, and the EFL Cup is a trophy that I would like to win personally, even if it means a big fixture list. Yes, it's going to take a lot out on our players, but hopefully we can sign the strength in depth to cope with that. If we don't, then maybe there's a few competitions we can afford to lose. The EFL Cup to some would be one of them. Obviously every club's dream is to win the FA Cup, as well as their own league. So I think that if I was to choose a competition to keep, I would probably keep the FA Cup along with the league, and ditch the trophy and the EFL Cup. But if it was possible, I would love to still go for this competition, like the EFL Trophy, and like I spoke about in that video. I want to go for the EFL Cup. I want the EFL Cup to be one of our still a priority of some sort. So hopefully we can still put out a decent squad against Blackburn. And obviously, like I said, if it is going to be between the 29th of August and the 30th of August, then obviously we've only got, about a week or so, nearly 2 weeks to prepare for it. So, it's not going to be the most prepared of clashes, especially since we've still got to play Bradford in pre-season. We've still got to play the two Championship teams, one of them twice, and also the Man United under-21s team. So we've still got pre-season fixtures to get off with, and I think with Blackburn and the international break before the season, Blackburn would most likely like to play it between the 5th and 6th of September. So I think that, fair dues to Blackburn if they are going to do that, but, I think it should be interesting to see if the league are going to do that. Because I think Blackburn will want to keep their best players after the international break, and, we're going to need a lot of fitness before that fixture, after all the pre-season games we'll be going through. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting clash at Ewood Park. Hopefully they'll stream the game live so I can watch it. And, hopefully, fingers crossed, that will be a game we can, get a win over. But with players like Richie Smallwood and that leaving, it gives a bit of hope. But with players like, Bradley Dack and Ben Brereton, Sam Gallagher and Adam Armstrong staying at the club, it's going to be a tough fixture, especially if Blackburn's going to put out a decent first team. If they're going to put out some of their second team players, I'll feel a little more confident, but we'll see with that one. We'll see. So thank you very much, guys, for watching this video on Blackburn Rovers. I'll be back whenever there's a transfer report, or whether there's any more news, or once we play Bradford and we do the match analysis and the goal analysis of that game. But for now, guys, thank you very, very much, and the CHALL, please like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.